beginning of the previous episode, episode 3, Borman was telling little Princess Douche Girl about a cuirass, and he had this story with a little bit of flashing back. What do I give a shit about that? Are we supposed to give a shit? It seems like some kind of story thrown in for shits, and they're going to give him something to do. And there was like some kind of little like round key piece that he threw away. I don't know. The whole cuirass story is stupid, right?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that or why.
I do like how they've brought the word cuirass a little bit more forward into the public consciousness, because most people would not know what that word means. When they've been talking about that on Willow, did you know what they were talking about?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I guess, when you say it out loud, it's one of those words I've read 100 times, but I never really say it out loud.
Well, I mean, I seem to kind of end the word with an S noise, whereas you just blatantly just throw the ass out there. So
cuirass, yeah.
That sounds like somebody has like
some sort of anal infection, yeah.
Hemorrhoids, yeah.
Try new cuirass, fast acting.
So they got the armor B plot, and they were showing it on the beginning, previously on roll at the beginning when I hit play for this episode, and I had to think back and be like, wait, what? Oh, I guess that was that thing that Borman was boring everyone with at the beginning.
Borman.
Boring people. So they go into the horrible, evil, cursed castle. The only reason they dared set foot in it, the only reason they went there is because Flash was injured. They had to bring him into shelter to get out of the storm, right? So otherwise, they would not even consider going there. So they go into this evil, cursed castle. They eat a meal and then promptly split up and go searching.
That's because nobody's in charge.
It made no sense. I mean, the castle's evil as fuck, and they all know it. And then, of course, they split up and all go searching rooms by themselves. So when they got to the big main room of the evil cursed castle, and they're all sitting there, here's something that I liked, building off of something we complimented last week, is everybody's getting their little quips and their digs, and they're saying all their jokes and shit. And most people have nothing to contribute, yet that doesn't stop them from fucking talking. That's the problem. Erin, Freckly Girl, Freckly Knight, she didn't have shit to say, so she kept her fucking mouth shut.
Yeah.
You know?
It's another point on her.
Yeah, that's an admirable quality in a person. The camera's doing like a round robin around the room as they're all eating, and it's like, camera on this person says something stupid. On this person says something that's, totally anachronistic and nobody would say outside of the, 20th century. And then flips onto this person. And then it flips onto Erin, and she's kind of just like looking around, like, keeping an eye on shit. Then they flip to somebody else and says something stupid. And they did that like 3 or 4 times. And every time they flip to her, I'm like waiting for her to contribute some kind of douchery to the conversation. And no, she's just looking around, like paying attention to the room and keeping her damn mouth shut. And I was like, oh, cool. Wow.
And then when everybody scattered off to the 4 winds to go do whatever the fuck they wanted to do, she was the only one who was actually doing her job. She was guarding. She was patrolling.
Flash, very much his episode in a lot of ways. Again, displaying a lot of unexplained arcane knowledge.
Yeah. He's a more interesting character than he is on the surface.
Got the freaky ass scars, and he's got shit going on in his life. I'm still interested in him, his character.
Yeah, I'm wondering what's up with him and where he's going. He's at least moderately intriguing.
Something that I noticed, like discordant silliness, is they're all sitting around eating, and Flash is dying, and it's getting to the point where we need to do something immediately. And the whole time, Willow's just chilling in his throne, eating. And then they look up at him and say, Willow,
you're the greatest sorcerer alive. I mean, there must be something you can do.
He thinks about it for a minute. He's like, okay, yes. And then he sends him off on this quest to get this stuff. The entire hour or whatever length of time it was that they're all sitting around snacking and Flash is dying, Willow's just sitting there just eating, daydreaming and shit. What the fuck was he doing? I'm just like, what the fuck? Why didn't he say something half an hour ago? Why is he waiting till the guy's on death's door and somebody asks him specifically, hey, wizard, do you know how to fix this? Oh, yes. Because prior to that, he was sprawled in his chair eating the whole time.
Yeah. What were you thinking of, man?
It was fucking weird. It was just, it was so silly.
Did he just have a bad song in his head? Was he like singing Baby Shark or something? Couldn't think of anything?
I think he was like being passive aggressive. He was like, people aren't paying enough attention to me. I'm not going to say anything until they ask me. I think it was like that.
They shut down his last suggestion, so he's just going to sulk until they ask him directly.
At least that would be an explanation. I think the writers just fucked up and didn't think about it.
Something I got about the episode when when the ghosts are starting to chase everybody around the castle and scare everybody and stuff. When Freckles there, when she's on the run from the ghosts and like locks herself in the room.
I just spent the last half an hour barricading the door. Well, how do we know it's you?
Oh, I don't know. My fiery aroma, my sweet singing voice, take your pick.
And then, they determine that it's actually Borman out there, and so he pushes right through it. Like, what have you been doing for half an hour? That is the best you can do? She must have been exaggerating, because if you spend half an hour barricading a door, you can't just have somebody just casually push through it.
She might not have received barricade training in her night classes. Also, Borman at one point uttered the phrase,
"You know when my partner died?"
You know when my partner died?
and I'm like, is he a gay-mo too? Are they just gay-moing everybody? Is everybody big gay?
Probably. I certainly wouldn't put it past this show.
I don't know. When you have a party of adventurers and there's 6 of them and 90% are gamos, then, what the fuck? what are you doing? What is going on here? This is just silly. So anyway, that's something to have your ears perked up for. I think I might have heard a gay dog whistle.
Huh, okay. All right. That'll give me something exciting to hunt down for the next episode. Although I'm sure they'll make it blatantly obvious if they want to.
Where do you go?
The high tower.
I'll go. It's not safe for you.
No, Willow saved my life. It's my turn to save his.
How do you know where to go?
I was born here.
I was born in the Memphis fucking hospital. I could not find the goddamn bathroom in that place. I don't remember it. Shit. That was a stupid line.
This is what you want, right? Confidence, strength.
That's not what I want.
That's what Eric has.
He's not strong and able and competent and a good fighter. He's none of these things.
Yeah. He just looks like Frampton.
Yeah, he's a douchey Frampton layabout. He's like the worst prince ever. Frampton couldn't do that. Frampton was kind of he's kind of a pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was kind of a pussy. Like the writers don't even know the characters that they're writing or how people are going to perceive them.
Yeah.
You can still save him.
I don't have...
You grew the eckleberry bush.
The fact that Alora had trouble growing the bush, finally grew the bush.
This just sounds funny the way you're phrasing it, by the way.
The bush. Kit would be heavily invested in this conversation.
You really do need to trim, but
It worked. I saw it in the woods. It was beautiful.
She grew the bush, but didn't know that she grew the bush because she was punched in the head by ugly possessed guy and was carried off, right?
Right.
And then the camera pans back and shows that she did grow the bush. She actually does have the power. But that all happened there with none of the other party anywhere nearby. The other party went looking for Allura after she was kidnapped. And, they found a little grotto area and found a little bush growing there. But they'd have no way of knowing that she didn't know that she grew that and got punched in the head ahead of time and didn't see the fucking bush grow. It was the stupidest line because do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, you have to have this omniscience that the audience does have. But the character couldn't possibly have known that and would not have said that. But the fact that the writers don't twig to the fact that they're writing stupid shit like that is one of the problems. Final scene, the baddies came back, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, the bad guys.
Yay, member berries.
Yeah, that was cool. They were back.
The FX they were using for that was pretty cool.
They're one of the few things that I have been really positive about is I liked them. I liked their combat scenes. I liked their whole, I really liked them in episode 1. And they're back. Yay.
They were there. I don't know these villains. I don't know what their motivations are. They're just there.
At some point of every villain ever, you can say that. Hans Gruber, you could say that. There's a point where you don't know that much about them. Give them a fucking chance. I got real excited when I saw them, and then the next scene immediately after they cut to Frampton. That just brought me down. I'm like, we managed to get through 2.9 episodes without Frampton on screen, and then they show him, and I'm just like, oh god.
Black hole sun, won't you come?
They did Black Hole Sun this time.
Yeah, they did.
In my head, I was calling it Bunghole Sun.